I'd never improvised before. And I thought, this should be interesting.
Hi, this is the Awardist. I'm Clarissa Cruz, executive editor of Entertainment Weekly, and I'm here with Candice Bergen, star of HBO Max's Let 'Em All Talk. Welcome, Candice. Thanks for joining us.
It's a pleasure.
I just want to say I loved this movie. I just enjoyed it so much.
Oh, I'm glad.
I really enjoyed it. So for people who haven't seen it, can you tell us what it's about?
This is a movie that was shot by Steven Soderbergh, shot himself by Steven Soderbergh in 10 days on the Queen Mary 2, a magnificent ocean liner on the crossing from New York to England. It's a crossing that takes 6 days. We shot 2 days in New York before and 2 days in England after, and that was the entire shoot. And it's about 3 women who were in college together and were best friends in college and haven't seen each other for 30 years. Meryl Streep is a famous, very accomplished author, and she has been invited to receive an award in England. She doesn't fly, so she takes a ship and she decides to invite her 2 friends from college. And the 2 of us are not quite sure why.
Here's to picking up the conversation where we left off. And here's to reconnecting the gang of 3 who we used to be.
Did she always talk like that?
Well, tell me about some of the research you did for your character, Roberta, who I think was just such a great character with the best lines. But tell me what sort of preparation you did for her.
Deborah Eisenberg, who's a great short story writer, wrote the story and a character synopsis about a long paragraph about each character. And mine was a very poor Texas girl whose father was an oil rigger. Her only pet was a snake. And I mean, it was that kind of, so it was really fun. And so I went to Texas and I went to an oil field and I saw an oil rig and it was very intense and I had great barbecue. And then I just sort of burrowed into sort of Austin and bought T-shirts at the University of Texas at Austin that I wear in the movie. And then Meryl and Diane went about their own research. And then we sort of collided, improvising our own dialogue as we went along.
Right. Well, I mean, tell me what that was like, because that's so interesting to me. If you just had a paragraph or 2 to go on, how did you flesh everything out? Were there decisions you made before filming with your character, or was it all, in the process of acting with your fellow actors?
Yeah, but I mean, fleshing it out, you can only do so much. And I think it's more just kind of throwing yourself on the barbecue pit and seeing, in fact, it was after the first few times, it was very sort of kept you very alert and very on the ball and was fun. And you found yourself going places that you didn't know you'd go, and it kept it very spontaneous.
You believe Alice and her book determined your whole life?
The consequences on my life of her actions were unacceptable.
Want to go have a drink later?
No, I can't.
Stephen had a camera that shoots available light, so we didn't need a lighting crew, which was great. It meant that we never had to stop shooting, and we didn't. So we would start shooting at 9 and we would break for a half-hour lunch in one of the ship's magnificent dining rooms, and then we would shoot till 9 at night. So, we just worked all the time. It's a huge savings to not have, because you have to change lights every time you change, you're shooting someone, you have to go to the other side to shoot them. So it saves you just bags of time.
Right. Was the improv part of it a first for you as well?
Yeah, I'd never improvised before. And I thought, this should be interesting. And, but Deborah would give you the day's scenes, what you were shooting. You'll be shooting in the dining room. You'll be discussing the dietary benefits of cod. I mean, She would sort of give you just a one line of what the scene was about that you were about to shoot.
Was that just, I don't know, I can imagine, I'm not an actor at all, but that must have been a bit terrifying to sort of go that way, or was it not?
It was maybe intimidating initially, and then you didn't really have time to be. You just had to be there.
I mean, your scenes are with Meryl Streep and Diane Wiest for the most part. What was it like, I guess, you know, you had to sort of convey that you had this big history, you had this long history, and knew each other for a long time. I mean, was that something that kept going even when you weren't shooting? I mean, because it was so short, did you stay in character at all, or?
We were always shooting. We keep going when we weren't shooting, because except for a half-hour lunch or a half-hour dinner, we were always shooting. There was never time to say, well, what do you think about that? And what, I mean, you just didn't, there was just that didn't happen.
Some of my favorite parts of the movie were the scenes with Diane where you were playing board games.
Like those as well.
I really, really enjoyed them. I wish I could play with you all day. But did you choose those games, and how were those set up, and were they as fun to shoot as they were to watch?
Every part of that ship was a pleasure to be on. So, and it was lovely just sitting on the deck. But no, the board games were chosen for us and set up for us, and because we would sort of come screeching in from the scene before.
Just to talk about Roberta a little bit more specifically, because she was such a fascinating character. I mean, she's basically on a mission on this ship to find her rich husband. Tell me about how
husband that Meryl scuttled.
Right, exactly. So there's a lot of emotions over there, a lot of underlying, you know, I guess simmering at Meryl's character.
And
but
Roberta definitely on the hunt.
Yeah. I mean, was that fun to play?
Great. I loved the character of Roberta. I just loved playing her.
I was wowed by your performance, and that's saying a lot considering that you know you were in such good company. But Roberta was just, yeah, she was just so fun to watch. And as you know, you know, you're no stranger to awards. You've got 5 Emmys. And there's talk, you know, Oscar talk about your performance here. I mean, how does that feel?
It feels very nice that people are responding so favorably, and I don't take it past that.
Right.
Because why set yourself up? But it's very nice that people have been so positive in their response to the film and to the character.
Well, thank you so much, Candice. This is so fun talking to you. I really enjoyed this movie, and thank you for making the time for us.
Well, it's my pleasure. I'm glad you like the movie.